welcome Daniel. I've known him since the first Skills Expo last year, where we had a talk and we interacted a bit after, and I bought his book. And the book is still with Anna, I think. I don't know if we got it around, other people read it as well. But I got really inspired and I thought, wow, he's a really interesting guy that has a lot to offer, and that's especially what I like about him. He has a story from a place where he didn't have a good life, and now he transformed this and uses this experience that he had to inspire other people and to help them to kick off their businesses and to manage their sales. So I'm really, really pleased that Daniel is here.
Okay, thank you. Let's start by knowing each other. Is that fair enough? Yeah. First name. I mean, speak like a typical business lady. I want some firmness. Yeah? Oh, the other name? The other name? Which one do I say? Which one? Because both of them are going to put some dent on my tongue. One is Preciosa. That one, My wife is Consolata. Fantastic. Aisha. Charles, of course. Stella.
Roland.
Grace. And Grace. Okay, Daniel. A pleasure to be here today. Just like my brother Tiana said, we met sometime last year. And you know, this life, every single thing you do, you never know where it could lead you. Today I've come to tell you a few things. I want to tell you my story, so that maybe some of you can look at your life from my perspective, and something is going to change for the better in your life. I will just tell you what I am right now. I'm an author of 3 books. Get Your Dream Job in 48 Hours, Become a Sales Superstar and Dominate Your Market, Be Exceptional in the World We Listen. Actually 4 books. The sales Organizer, those are 4 books. I'm a lecturer at Makerere University Business School. I'm a consultant for a number of companies, including New Vision, including Standard Chartered Bank, including Barclays Bank, including Steel Tube Industries, several companies. Prudential Uganda. Actually, I've done consultancy for over 65 companies this year alone. And I've also done consultancy for the Parliament of Kenya and several others. And I'm 28 years old. Okay? I'm 28 years old, and this is my story. I'm saying this not to brag, but a little bit to brag also. You get the point? Yeah, but I want you to learn a few things from me that possibly is going to set you apart. I'm a born of 87. My mom was 15 years old when she gave birth to me. And when she conceived me as a 15-year-old kid, my father denied the pregnancy. My father comes from a very wealthy background. In the northern part of Uganda, there used to be the power brokers dealing with Porteous regime. And my mom, from a not very nice family, poverty-stricken. We could sometimes take porridge, and we live on porridge for the entire day. But she's such a beautiful woman. So this son of mine from a rich family saw her, they did what they had to do, they had sex, enjoyed it, and then the man said, no, I'm not responsible for the pregnancy. And my mom was kicked out of the house. My grandmother said, go and look for the person who impregnated you, and it was not a very nice experience for her. She left home, she went to looking for places where she could stay, and she went to the Catholic Church and requested the priest that she can be a cook for the priest, and in return they give her a place to stay and they feed her. And that's where she stayed until she gave birth to me. She was a cook for the priest as she was trying to carry the baby in her womb. After the 9 months she gave birth, the priest gave my mom an offer that if you can find where to put this baby, we can pay you to continue with studies. And so, as a 2-month-old kid, my mom took me back to my grandmother and said, no, I don't have where to keep these kids, and I need to go back to school to study. So my grandmother accepted to take care of me from when I was 2 months old. So I was being fed on cow milk, and about the same time, my grandma also had given birth to her last born, who happened to be a boy. My grandmother gave birth to 7 girls, and then the last born was a boy called Dale. And about the same time was engagement with Dale, just a couple of months separating us. So she was also breastfeeding me, breastfeeding her son and all that. Somehow I got measles. And when I got measles, Dale got measles from me. He passed away, I lived. And my grandmother now took me in as our own. When I was in P4, about 8 years old, my grandma was diagnosed with a number of diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and they told her you cannot be in the kitchen. So I was living with her and my grandfather were 3 in the house. So she had to teach me how to cook because my grandfather leaves every morning to go to teach. He was a primary school teacher. He has passed on now. So every day, Daniel has to wake up at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I go to the farm. 3 a.m. as an 8-year-old kid. My task was to wake up at 3 a.m. every day and go and cut down bamboo trees. I come from a small district called Lamour. Has any of you heard of Lamour district?
Yes.
It's one of the new districts from Kidgum district. Yes, so from after my district, you go to Southern Sudan immediately. So my task was to wake up every morning, every day, and go down and go to the bush to cut down the bamboo trees. We used to do communal farming. So by the time 6 a.m. comes, where the rest of the villagers go and they do the communal farming, tilting the grass, I should have cut a lot of bamboo trees. And I did that until when I was, I think, 14 years old. Every day, every single morning, I wake up, I go cut bamboo trees, come back home, put beans on fire, go to school, come back at break time, add some more fuel into the fire, go back to school, at lunchtime come and make sure that the beans is ready, minko posho, eat, and then run back to school, leave some for my grandmother. That was the life. I never complained. Are we together? I never complained, not even one day. And I know some of you here, your life story is so similar to mine, or probably even worse. But often we lose picture of what could be by trying to say, okay, God, but why me? Why all this trouble? But let me tell you something. All over the world, there are a lot of people who would love to be in your position. There are so many people who could have loved to be in my position at the time when I was doing all these sort of things. But maybe there was where I was. And this is how life really goes. So I did that work without a complaint, and I made sure that I did it. I did it every day. I did not say one day I'm tired and all this. And that is something that trained me to be somebody who valued hard work. My work ethics was built there. I continued every single day. And in that P4, something amazing happened in my life. A teacher came to class one morning, called Mr. Anthony Uvoa. Mr. Anthony came to class and said, "Children, listen. This school has never got a first grade in P7. Now I want to give you a challenge. If any of you, when you reach P7 and you get a first grade in this school, you'll get a chance to go to the capital city of Uganda. Where is that?" And we scream. What is the name of the capital city of Uganda? Scream. That's exactly how we scream and say, Kampala has got so many beautiful things. And in Kampala, you'll get the tallest building in this country. That building is so tall that it touches the sky. I said, Mama, I have to go where? Kampala. It did not stop there. I said, Kampala also is the place where all these planes, because my village is along the route that planes used to go to Europe. So you see planes passing, ooh, especially these jumbo jets with smoke behind. The thing really, it goes so high. Sometimes I take my catapult and I try to shoot, but it doesn't reach. I said, in Kampala, these planes are actually parked there. There is a huge field in Kampala called International. Yeah. Where? Kampala. He didn't actually know that Entebbe was a district in itself, but those are minor details. And said, that plane, the plane that you see there, especially the one with the smoke under, that plane parks in Kampala. And that plane can carry up to 1,000 people inside. I said, But when I look at the thing out there, it looks so tiny. How come it carries 1,000 people inside? There is no way. And he did not stop there. He said, in the plane, you can have everything. It's like paradise. In the plane, if you want to take some food, you just switch a knob and say, food. You want to take some juice? You just press a knob and say, juice. And juice will come. You want to sleep? You just press the knob and say, I am sleepy. And then your chair will just go, ooh, and then you sleep. And I was imagining how wonderful that is. And as a kid in P4, my dream was built that day. And I said, I have to go to Kampala or I go to Kampala. There was nothing like, I have to go to Kampala or I don't. Like many of us give ourselves two options. My option was one. I either go to Kampala or do what? Go to Kampala. How many times have you given on your dreams? How many times have you given options to your dreams? How many times have you given options to your standards? Why? Because life is hard, because you don't have money, because you don't have parents who are paying you. I did not give up on my dream, and on that day, every page of my book, every single page of my book, on top of it here, I was writing what? Kampala, 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 Kampala. All my books were having Kampala on top of it here. Because that dream was so massive. And ladies and gentlemen, I continued working hard. I wasn't speaking this English that you're enjoying right now. It was a rudimentary, typical Acholi accent. And when I talk about us who come from the north, you know. And if you don't, maybe you hear these comedians talk about them. I didn't speak good English. But I was set. I said, I have to do whatever it takes. And when I get a first grade in P7, the ticket to Kampala is guaranteed. And I worked hard. And I worked hard. I was still going to the farm every single morning, 3 a.m. And in P6, 1999, I was in P6. I was still continuing doing my task, wake up every morning, go to the farm, cut down bamboo trees, come back and wash your legs and run to school. And on that fateful day, on the 26th of February, 1999, I was going to the farm as usual at 3 a.m., riding my bicycle. I reached somewhere along the way. I entered an ambush for the LRA, the Kony rebels. I was abducted. And the bicycle was chopped into small, small pieces. And the rebels took me in. I stayed in the bush for 8 painful months. And within those 8 months, I saw every nasty thing that any human being can do to the other. I saw innocent children being slaughtered into pieces with hangers. I know some right now you'll think, but my situation, God, I wish I had been born in a better family. But I tell you, that was a moment when I said, oh my goodness, you mean human beings can do this on another? I saw innocent children, young girls, you're all much, much bigger now. 12, 13, 14, they have been made wives to these rebels. Some of them are having 2 or 3 kids. Some of them, their lips have been chopped off so that they can keep on smiling all the time. Some of them who cannot walk. I mean, some of them, their breasts have been chopped off. I mean, nasty things. I saw that as a 12-year-old kid. Did I deserve it? No. None of us as children deserve where we're born, probably. We don't deserve to be in poverty. We don't deserve to be in hardship. Now listen, it's a road world. This world is never fair for everybody. There are some of us who will be born in families that are not very good financially. There are some of us who will be born in the average, the middle class family. There are some of us who will be born in a wealthy family. But still, that cannot define who you are. Does it? No. Where you're born does not define you. Every hard situation that you are does not define you. Unless you choose to pick and say, okay, this is my life. Let me not be in this position. Every single day, I was carrying a bag of salt on my back. And my back was all blistered up. Pray to God that when you're carrying salt, it doesn't rain because it kind of melts on your skin. And then when the sun comes back, the salt kind of gets sticky on the skin. The dark skin, these pores just fall off. And then you remain red skin. Flesh. That was what my back was. But I had one dream. To go where? Kampala. It may sound stupid right now, but going to Kampala kept me alive during my hard times in the bush. My feet were all blistered up. My back was all blistered up. I was walking barefooted every day for 8 freaking months. I told God just one prayer. I don't want to die before I see. Before I see Kampala. I don't want to die before I see Kampala. That was my prayer every day. And I kept on going every day. You don't have a blanket to sleep under. You don't have any decent clothes to put on. Barefooted for 8 months, walking in taunts. That just shows you, ladies and gentlemen, that we can overcome every hard situations as long as you have reason to live. Some of you must have gone through some very hard times. Some of the times have been really hard. And some of you give up on life. Why? Because you don't have a very big reason as to why you should stay alive. What am I telling you right now? That I have a dream that makes you, so fired up. I see some of you have written here, the experience that you want to have maybe in a couple of years or what. The experience are amazing. You want to you want to be a billionaire. Some of you want to be motivational speakers like me. Some of you want to have a wake up next to a very beautiful queen of your dreams. And some of you want to have very wonderful marriages. Now, if you have those strong dreams, Every hard situations you live every single day should not divert you from this train. And mine at the time was going to Kampala. Come rain, come sunshine, come tsunami, come what? I wanted to stay alive. But when my time comes, I go where? 8 months, I was in the bush, shooting the guns. We were trained for 3 months to be serious soldiers. And so many children right now, they're struggling. So many young people right now, they're going through some issues in their life. Some of them are on the street. They do not deserve to be there. But as much as you do not deserve to be there, or you don't deserve to be in a position where you are right now, it is your obligation, it is your responsibility to do what you have to do to get yourself out of that painful situation. Because it's possible. Everybody say, it is possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. And until you believe that it's possible for you, it is never possible. For me, it was possible that I was going to stay alive until I get a chance to come to Kampala. And I never compromised on that. You're here at Sina, you have a big aspiration to build thousands of houses using these bottles. Don't give up on that dream. 8 months staying in the bush. We're now going to southern Sudan. Around 14th of October, I still remember that day very well. We entered a very dangerous ambush of the UPDF, I think. And bullets just started pouring like crazy. The gunship helicopter was moving up and pouring bullets like rain. I was hit here, and the bullet got stuck in. I was hit on the side. The bullet passed through. This was the danger zone because the borders of the bullet is not very good. So I got my shot, tied this. This one was there. I just told God again, one more prayer. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And somehow, when your life is built on that foundation of spirituality, I don't care what type of God you worship, but you should have some higher power that you look up to every single day. Our God is a God of miracle. I'm not preaching, but I said your life should be a life that is built on the foundation of godliness. If your life is built on just, I can do whatever I want to do with my life, then possibly you challenge, you may never get a solution to that. Have some higher power that guides your life. Have some higher power that controls the type of morals that you imbibe in your system. And mine was simple. It's God or God. There was no, okay, God, you have deserted me, now let me do my own thing. No. God never deserts his own children. So make sure that even if in your moment of shit, don't forget God. In your moment of celebration and happiness, do not forget God. Amen. I did not. And indeed, the soldiers got me. They took me to the barracks in Gulu, in the hospital. I stayed in that barracks for 2 months. I was being treated of my wound. I was being rehabilitated because every single night I was screaming because of the different pictures that was in my head. I was being talked to. I was given books to read. And ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of good things in books. And that's why I've chosen to be an author at some point in my life, where I am now. Books have helped me so much. I've read books, my experience with the truth, Mahatma Gandhi, when I was just 13 years old. How many pages are those? 562 pages, my experience with the truth. That book kind of really cleansed me of a lot of dirt inside. I read the biography of Mother Teresa. She was so loving, she was so caring, she was in places where there were war all over the Middle East and all that. And such information really helped to clean my system. I was treated, and I told myself, I have to go back home when I was well. My wounds were healed now. I went back home to the village, and people in the village actually thought I was dead. And then when they saw me, people were so happy. It was a big celebration and all this. But 1 week, I reached home, it was 1 week to P6 exam. The entire P6 I didn't study, but I told myself, I have to sit that exam because when I sit the exam and I go to P7, I get a chance to go where? When you have a big dream, it kind of just makes your life also sorted out. Your path that you have to follow is easy. But those without powerful dreams, they're all over the place, doing a lot of nonsense. And mine was simple. I got to sit that exam. Whether I studied the whole year or not, that is not an issue. The issue is, Daniel has got to do what? Sit that exam. I went to the headmistress. I told the headmistress, I want to sit the exam. So, but Daniel did not study the whole year. How come you want to sit the exam? You not passed. I said, I have to sit the exam. I said, okay, no problem. They didn't want to also mess up with my head because of all the things that I've been through. They said, okay, no problem. We'll let you what? Sit the exam. And I sat that exam. We were 56 in that class, plus me 57. When the results came back, I was number 50. I'd beaten 6 people. And then Mr. said, if this guy can beat 6 people, he is good enough. These 6 people have been in school for the whole time. He did not even attend one day in school. So let's promote him to P7. Now you can clap for me. What is wrong with that? That is the biggest achievement of my life. You may see me also suited up right now, looking so good, but my biggest achievement is not being a lecturer, is not being an author, is not being all that I am right now. My biggest achievement was to have the bravery and the guts to sit that exam, even when I knew I did not study all through. How many times have you given up? Just because people say, but you have not studied. Do not be a sorry figure in your life. Where people start telling you the terms that they want to run your life on. Be independent in mind and have the responsibility to claim your freedom. And your freedom doesn't come easy. You have to claim with some sort of responsibility. But responsibility was to sit that exam, whether I did not study or whether I studied, that was not an issue. You want to be the best hairdresser right now, you want to be the best cosmetology right now, let me tell you, girl, go for it. It's only you who knows how far this can take you. Your mother will tell you, but you have to go to university and study all these sort of things. And your friends will tell you, but why are you doing this hairdressing thing? There's no money in it. But you, when you have the picture in your eyes and in your head and in your heart, keep going with all the negativities that come your way. I went to P7. I did what I had to do in P7. Results came back. And I was in the farm, I was in the potato farm that day. And then I saw the Reverend Sisters and several other Reverend Sisters dancing. They actually danced properly. And they were drumming seriously, coming seriously. Dancing, and they're coming to our home. And I was hearing from afar, I said, what is happening? Is somebody marrying? Oh, is somebody drunk somewhere? Oh, is there some celebration somewhere? I didn't know what was happening. And that wasn't my problem. My problem was to continue living life and enjoying it. And doing what I had to do. People will celebrate you, people will mock you, people will do whatsoever they want to do. But listen, if you've already done your part, that is all that is needed. I did my part. I sat that exam. The results came back. Daniel has got aggregate 12. First.
Great. Good to Kampala.
I knew I was going where? I knew I was going where? I mean, they were celebrating me, they carried me on top, and I said, okay, now. Finally, I'm going where? But I didn't know that there was something called money. It was also needed. I didn't know that there was another part called school fees that needed to be paid. And to go to Kampala, the school fees was a little bit more than when you study in the north. And after the celebration was over, my grandmother sat me down and said, my son, I know you've been talking about going to this Kampala, but you see we do not have school fees. But tears flew down my eyes. But I had to dust it up and say, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'll go to the school that you choose for me, and then we'll see what happens. I went to senior one in the school called UB College in Guru. I was boarding a pickup every single time going to school, every single time on a pickup for 4 years. But again, I went for the first time. My grandmother had saved some money. My mom went on and married another man who did not really like me so much. I did not like the idea that my mom wanted to bring me to stay with her. But she told my mom, you either choose the marriage or pay this an opportunity to work, do it well. Are we together? Don't bitch around. This work is not nice for me. No, I'm better than this. That's just bullshit. When work has been given, do it and do it well. And I slashed that compound that there was no other slashing before. And at 4 p.m. I finished. I swept the entire grass that was remaining, put them together aside, and by the time Father came back and he saw I'd done the work, and he asked me, did you do this alone, or did you bring some of your friends from school to help you? I said, no, I did not bring anybody. He said, no, you're lying. Let me first go and ask somebody else. And as luck would have it, he went and asked the cook. And the cook just told Father, I've never seen a young man work so hard. I gave him food at lunch, he refused to eat until he finished his work. And Father said, Daniel, come to my office. I'll pay you from senior 1 to senior 4. And that is how I got my school fees, from senior 1 to senior 4. Father was paying for me. I was working every day, mopping the church. Every week I was trimming the flowers. I was slashing the compound when it's bullshit. And during holidays, sometimes I go to the farm, but I did not make going to the farm as an obligation. You know, guys, sometimes you just have to accept to do the hard things. And God has a way of, cutting your load at some point. But some of you said, no, I'm not doing anything. No, that is too much for me. No, that's too hard for me. You do not give yourself a chance when you do not take opportunities of even work. Even if that work is the most nastiest of work, first accept it and do it with all your heart. Then somebody sees what you're doing and maybe they can have some little bit of mercy or probably maybe some consideration of the work you're doing. Many of our young people today, I see them complain, there is no jobs, there is no this, there is no school fees. But are we willing to do the work? Most of us are not. We are too arrogant, we are too boastful, we are so, I don't know. We just all factor. I'm sorry for using a hard word, but I asked him earlier, he told me that these are 18 years and above. I mean, we just... But the issue is you need to do something for something to be given back to you. If you don't do anything, nothing's going to be given to you. And I did that work. I did that work for 4 years. No complaints. 3 weeks to exam in senior 4, 2004. 3 weeks to exam. Some son of a bitch come in the night and kill Father Luciano Spalletti. They just slaughtered this Italian priest in the night. I don't know what he has done up to now. Just this white man from Italy who come to preach the word of God and somebody just slaughtered him in the night. Another source of school fees is dead. Now listen, bad things happen even to good people. I mean, I like talking with my friends and I said, shit happens. But when shit happens, that doesn't mean that you don't have to eat. Does it mean? When shit happens, that doesn't mean that you don't have to sleep under a roof. You don't have to dress up because now somebody who was giving you the food and everything is dead. No. Every time bad things happen, you have to, feel the pain, but still have some little bit of lift of energy to keep going because you're still alive. You are still alive. You got to do what you got to do. You don't do it, well, your life is going to end in a way that probably you start having, I wish I had. I wish I had. I wish I had. For me, I don't live a life of wishful thinking. When things have got to be done, they have got to be done. Full stop. Father was dead. I still had to sit exams. I sat that exam with tears in my eyes, but it's okay. I got up to 28. It was still a first grade. But it wasn't the one that I was expecting. But school fees is dead. What do you expect? I went back to the village. I told my grandmother, and now, is there some money that we can get? No, there's no money. First time, senior 5, I didn't study. My grandmother gave me a very good option. There was a beautiful lady who was bringing firewood home every single day from the neighbor, was cooking for my grandmother, and then she was fetching water, and my grandmother said, hey, son, you see Sanya? Sanya has been bringing me food here, and she has also been fetching water. She has also gone to the bush to get some firewood. I know right now there's no school fees. Oh, my son. Why did you bring Sanya and Sanya not be your wife here? You're now of age, you're 16 years old. You can give birth now. Now let me tell you something. Sometimes the people who love us the most and then who want the best for us may not have the right solutions to some of our problems. It doesn't mean we have to fight them. It doesn't mean we have to disagree with them and abuse them. It doesn't mean that they hate us. No. It's because of their love and they don't want to see you suffer anymore. And they think maybe one solution that they offer for you is the right one. Many of us take those solutions quick. Why? Because your mom said so. Because your grandma said so. But you need to have that independence to think for yourself and say, okay, is this the right thing that I want for me? Is it in alignment with my dreams? My dreams was what? Kampala. And now if I married, was I going to Kampala again? Maybe now I would be having 5 or 6 women with several children. But I said, no, I'm not going to marry. I told my grandmother politely, Mom, you know what? I'll get the money. I'll go to study in Kampala. Then she was all annoyed. How can you go to Kampala? That type of dreams must stop. And all those sort of things. But I said, no, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to study in Kampala. And my mom also told me, I have saved some money aside. If you can get this much, this part which is there, I will take care of your school fees. So try to work it out. So I mobilized the villagers, young boys like me at the time. I mean, like you guys here. I said, guys, why don't we go to each other's farm? Today we go to my farm, tomorrow we go to your farm, the next day we go to the other person's farm. I did 10 acres of sim with the help of those boys. The way I see you guys work in a very communal way here, that's the way we're doing things there. I took them to the farm. We did that farm, 10 acres of sim. I was an altar boy in the church. Every morning at 6 I'm going to church to pray. And I was the altar boy. So that day when my farm was ready, a little bit here of sim, I took the parish priest to the farm. I said, Father, you come and bless my farm. Come and sprinkle some holy water. And Father said, no problem. I'm coming with you. So we went and he sprinkled the holy water. And I said, Father, you know what? I'm giving the entire farm to the Catholic Church. Just get me a school in Kampala. Pay for it. And then you travel by bus. When you're going through shit, you don't have to drop your standard. My standard was to go to Kampala and go by bus. I see people use the bus seat and that's comfortable things. For me, I'm sitting in my hard house on the Sahara. Pick up. For 4 years, I said, no, I have to go to Kampala with the bus this time. And Father said, why don't you first go and consider this? You were giving the entire 10 acres of some same to the church. I said, yes, Father. That's the reason why I put it out there. I said, okay, let me make some few phone calls and then I'll let you know. The next morning I was there at Father's place, 8 a.m. I said, Daniel, I have good news for you. I've got you a school in Kampala, Bishop Shiprano Chiangire. It's in Luzira, a very beautiful school. And you're set to travel on the 16th of June. And yes, I came to Kampala for the first time on the 16th of June, 2005. I made 10 years this year. I will never forget that day because the day before, I moved from one door to the other in the village to inform them I'm going where? Total rural urban migration. I'm going to Kampala. I'm going to Kampala. I'm not ashamed of my past. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. Because look at me now. Tall, dark, handsome, not a joking subject. All that happened because of that. Are we together? Yeah. I went all through the shit. It is okay. The bigger picture is all that matters. The bigger picture now says, I'm an international superstar. Whether you like it or not, that's your problem. I came from the village. I don't know my father. My mom gave birth to me when she was 15 years old. I went through all the shit. I was a rebel. It is okay. I never lost focus. The bigger picture. And on the 16th of June, 2005, they took me by bicycle to Kitgum town. And I was smiling all the way. And the moment for boarding the bus came. And everybody, because my mom, my grandma, everybody was there, my friends. And then the moment for stepping the bus. And then I couldn't help but my mouth was like this. Daniel, close your mouth. I tried to close my mouth. Daniel, close your mouth. Your teeth doesn't look good. There was no way I was going to close my mouth. The excitement was amazing. And that is what each one of you will go through. The excitement of winning. When you set yourself to achieve something. Whether the past was difficult or what, the excitement of winning should be that what you work for every single day. And it takes 12 hours to 13 hours to come to Kampala from Padibe. And people sleep along the way because they're tired. But did I sleep? No. I was there looking at everything moving. And my mouth like this. It is okay. I achieved my dream. In 2005, I came to Kampala for the first time. I didn't speak good English. I didn't know anything much. I came to study senior 5. And the school fees was paid by the Catholic Church in Padibe Mission. I studied in a school here in Luzira. That school has got all the amenities in the world. I've got a flush toilet which I used to sit on and read from every single time because the seat was very nice. I can do yes, I read. I used the showers for the first time. I said, "No, this is artificial rain." I usually go and dance under the rain. Now this rain is there every single time. I can stand under that shower for 1 hour, 2 hours, and yet other friends of mine are waiting to bathe. The excitement was too much. It is okay. Finished my A-level, got 16 points, got a chance to go to university. School fees not there. The contract with the Catholic Church was over. It was for 2 years. I said I had to do what I have to do. When you've already been somebody who takes care of everything that comes into your life, every challenge that comes into your life, when you start that even now, your life will be a life full of problem-solving skills. Every single time, your mind is thinking, what is the solution to this? Your mind is thinking, what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this? So stop crying about your shit. Stop crying about the pains that you've gone through. Every single time you've got a moment where you have to decide and think about the solution, that is exactly what you should do. Think about the solution. And stop worrying, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Don't be a go-love figure. Oh, Bambi, go-love you. Oh, Bambi, go-love you. You know how I got to know about go-love? In 2013, I broke my leg. I broke this leg, I was on the border. And I was just riding quick, then but I fell off. Then this leg, this part came this way. Instead of looking here, my shoes was looking backward. And then people rushed and they came and they were looking at me and they said, "Oh, Bambi, go love you." Go love you. Nobody wanted to touch my leg and organize it. They said, "Oh, Bambi, go love you." I didn't know what go love you meant. And I said, "You people, my leg is broken. Go love you also." Then the old person who loves said, "God help me, I'm sorry." I said, "How can you feel sorry when my leg is like this? Come and work on it." So don't be a God help your figure. You get the point? Many of us are just God help. We are sorry figure. We are so sorry figure. Every single challenge that comes into your life, you just, you're so docile like a castrated bull. And then, I have this problem. And what did he say? I'm not a goal-happy figure. And you guys, young people here, never be a goal-happy figure. Never be a sorry figure. Never be out of a solution. Always have your mind set on what do I need to do to get out of this shit. And that's what I was. Senior 5, Senior 6, finished. Got 16 points. Had to find school fees for university. I went to Capital Shoppers Nakawa. They were starting to build that building, that big building. I went there, skinny as I was, I told them, I'm going to work on the foundation. Every single day I was working on that foundation of Capital Shoppers for 8 months. Do you know that 1.5 feet of foundation in a rocky place is 8,000 shillings? I don't know how much it is right now. But at the time it was 8,000. And a normal Muganda was digging maybe 1.5 feet. A typical Munyangole was doing maybe about 2 feet. Chinga was doing maybe 3 feet. Asonga is doing half a feet. The Anderson was doing maybe about 4 feet. Those ones from West Nile were doing maybe about 5 or 6 feet.
Yes.
But the typical Choudry in me, I was doing 11 feet every day. Every day, 11 feet. The typical elephant of a Choudry. The thing is, it was school fees or nothing. It was tuition fees or nothing. The reason that I had to do work on that foundation was my tuition fees or nothing. For them, they were maybe working for the money, maybe to go and receive a check that, I'm an accountant. You come and we have some sex. But mine was purely to raise money to go to school. And even now I still feel pain on my chest. But it's okay. I was able to save 2.8 million shillings. Paid the entire first year at the university. BBA at MOBS, where I studied. Second year, the rest of the story of MTN coming and all this. But to cut the whole story short, I've always worked hard for everything that I want. And that's the type of life that I want each one of you to have in here. That if you've got some things to do, you've got to do it. But above everything else, I need your presence. You being here at Sina should have some purpose, should have some aspiration, should have some dream. The dream here, I see, they're very nice, but they're so vague. I need to have some specifics as well. That I want to have 1 million shillings in the next 2 months. I want to have 10 million shillings this year. I want to have, by this date, I have to have this. And you work. And whatsoever product that you produce is something, how many do I have to sell of these paintings to get 10 million? Edgar, where are you? How many of these paintings do I have to sell to get 100 million? You should be thinking from that perspective. Have a target to it and have a deadline to it and work your household, man. We already know you're a very skillful painter. But what did you tell me, Hadia? Say it again.
Art is not bad, not until you fail to sell it.
Say it loud to them.
Art is not bad, not until you fail to sell it.
Art is not bad, not until you fail to what? Sell it. Now, you're not just here to make beautiful buildings and beautiful paintings. You're here to make something, to sell it, so you can get some money in your pocket. Are we together? And is it easy?
No.
Never. It shouldn't be. Because when it's too easy, then everybody will do it. But it's a little bit, because it's having a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of some effort from you. That's why a few people like us make it to where we reach. Because we're willing to pay the price. My question is, are you willing to pay the price today to get to the dreams that you're looking up to? Are you willing to pay the price to have that wonderful husband that loves you, that cherishes you, that blissfully, decorates and marries you and whatsoever it is? Are you willing to work and pay the price to have that beautiful wife sleeping next to you and waking up in the morning? Are you willing to pay the price to have that dream house, 6-bedroom, with a basement, with gym, with a cinema hall, with, you know what I'm talking about? Are you willing to pay the price to drive the Range Rover Sports HDSL class 2015 model? Are you willing to pay the price? And these are questions that each one of you have got to answer. Etienne will not. Philip will not. But you can. I will not. I'm answering questions to my own questions. I'm answering questions to my own life challenges every day. And listen, this is a very important point. I'm not here for you. Are we together? I'm not here because I care about you too much. No. I'm here for me. I'm here to learn something about all this so I can improve the quality of my life. So I can improve the quality of the information I get in my head. And so I can take care of my family. And now you can, if you've got this information from me, and you think Daniel has spoken something that is very important, you have to own it, customize it to your life, and do something with that information to improve the quality of your life in the quality of life of your family that you're going to be making. No, you don't have a family yet, but you'll make a family. And that is how you should look at life. Do not be a sorry figure. Etienne is not here to help you. Please, Etienne, help me. No. Etienne is here to give you a platform so you can help yourself. And give a round of applause for them. Sina is giving you a foundation to be self-reliant, to be independent. But listen, utilize your time here to learn every skill you got to learn. So when you go to the life in the real world out there, you do not just factor. You live a life that is worthy of who you are and what God has given you. Because each one of us has got talent. We've got amazing talent. But it's up to you to make sure that the talent you have do something and helps you to live a quality life. Take care of your family, rent a beautiful house and probably build a fantastic house, and be able to also help young people, just like Etienne and Philippe have done this. Many of you have written here, I want to also pay some school fees for some children later. I want to help some children in orphanages, but you will not help that if you do not help yourself. From today onwards, start living a very responsible life. If your life has been a life of fucking around all the time, I'm sorry for using that. Style up. Sex is not the way to heaven. You'll get a wife, marry, and have sex every single day. And you'll say, there'll even be this, I mean, maybe not today. You're the man who is talking, not the lady. You're not the But until that time comes, you need to pay the price to reach that level. But some of you are having sex and you think about that date that you have with somebody. The phone call makes here, the erection goes, oh, not again. Work so hard so that you can claim a life of freedom. Work so hard so you can enjoy a blissful life with your relationships. Work so hard so you can send your children to the best schools in the world. My daughter is 1 year and 1 month this month. And by the time my daughter makes 4 or 5 years old, I'm taking her to one of the best international schools in this country, Games Cambridge. And I'll be paying £2,000 every single term for her there, because I can. And because I have worked for it. And that is the type of vision and aspiration that each one of you need to work. Each one of us have got areas of weaknesses. If your weakness is communication, in your moment of being here at Sina, improve your communication. Some of you have got issues with confidence, you're not brave enough. When you're here, make sure you do the things that challenges you and make you brave enough. Some of you do not have good work ethics. You work a little bit and you feel tired and want to sleep. This moment when you're here, work. If it means going to the garden there and working from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., do it and don't complain. If it means working on this thing today, that thing that you're working, I found guys working on it out there. If it means finishing it today, finish it when? Today. And don't complain. If you need to improve on negotiation skills, there are books I believe that are here. Some of the books that he has bought my books, and I believe some of you will also buy some of them. I've got some 5 copies here. Read those books. Improve your negotiation skills. Read those books. Improve how to handle rejections and objections. Read those books. Improve on how you look. Because, just like I write in that book, I buy you first before I buy anything you have to offer. An expensive watch, a nice shirt, expensive suit, a serious shoe, clean socks, well shaven, you know, organized beards, clean with deodorant, and I'm smelling good. I buy you first before I buy this. So every single day, work on family. Even out this because now, we are both selling this thing. We are both selling these pictures. We come to your office. Who do you want to listen to first? You get a picture? We are all selling what? The paintings, right? And we walk in your office. Okay? Hello, how are you? You also selling. I need you to improve on every areas of your life so that you are a sellable brand. Okay. I'll need you to be a sellable brand. Be a brand that people are willing to buy. I know some ladies here already bought me this thing. Oh, I wish it was my husband. I'm already married. But the thing is, be that brand that people want to be around. Be that brand that people want to listen to. If your communication, if how you speak is a problem, instead of saying election period, I said this is a very serious election period. You get the point? So work on every area of weaknesses while you're here, sinner. Your moments here are not just to come and have fun and relax and look at these hills. Your moment here, this is a training ground. This is a battlefield. This is a military ground. Learn whatsoever you need to learn so that you can win in the battle. So you can win in the war. And that war is the war of your own life. God bless you. Yes, go ahead.
When you were in, I can't remember the district, but I will use Kitgum.
Okay.
Yes, because that time probably it was Kitgum. You wanted, your dream was to come to Kampala. So it looks like you reached Kampala and your dream has come to the end. What next? So what happens next? Because many people, yes, said these things and then they reach there. So what next? You are just coming to Kampala to see the aeroplane and all those things. So what next?
Okay. You know, I mean, let's just say my story is just it's a demonstration of what our dreams can do. Because when I came to Kampala, it's another story in itself. If I'm to study the entire thing, probably the whole day would be over. But just to help you on that, when I came to Kampala and I was studying at Luzira, I was seeing these nice buildings on Muchungu. Those who stayed in I've been to Luzira, you know. There's Luzira, there's Muchungu Hill. Now on Muchungu Hill, you see there is these very beautiful buildings. Like, seriously, beautiful buildings. I mean, that's beautiful. And when I'm at that school, I told myself, I need to own it, my own. Yeah. Right now, I drive a Toyota VX, but that's just the minor details. It all came as a result of my dream, my aspirations. And when I saw the building and all this, I said, I have to own it. And that's the things that has made me work so hard. I've got a couple of plots of land, and I've built an hotel in Kitgum now. It's called the Legacy Hotel. So when you go to Kitgum, you should sleep in the hotel. Okay, it's beautiful. It's just 13 rooms, but it's really amazing. I'm also building some cottages in Pakwach along the Nile for tourists. I know Etienne want to go and enjoy yourself a little bit on the Nile at Musician Falls. So at the Musician Falls, I'm building again the 13 units of cottages. The small huts that you see there, I'm putting 13 of them for tourist purposes. Now, my dream is really high because I'm 28 right now. I want by the time I'm 30, I want to have $1 million as my gift. A check of $1 million as my gift to me. Okay? A gift I am giving to myself of $1 million. And that is in the next 24 months, or probably even less now. And I have another big dream. In the next 10 years, I started counting this year in March. When you come to my office, you'll see a big picture, a big architectural design of a tall building, 47 floors. And I've told myself in the next 10 years, I want to put a building on Entebbe Road, 47 floors. It's going to be the tallest building in this country. Unless somebody makes 47 floors before my time comes. But still, my aspiration is to make 47 floors. It's going to be along the Entebbe Express Highway. I already have the land, 200 by 200. It's a big piece of land. I think it's almost an acre, but I want to get more. The issue is, when you achieve one dream, you want to go for more. So now my biggest dream right now is 47 floors. My dream has not just been to come to Kampala. I've gone to South Korea. I've gone to Brazil, Buenos Aires. I've gone to Switzerland already. And I've used the plane. And you know, the plane I also used it recently. And the excitement was still the same. You get a question? But every time you achieve one dream, you're much more enlightened to see much bigger dreams. And that's how you should live life. That it's like a beam of light in the night. You drive, you don't, ahead there is so dark. But the lights can just show you as far as you can go, show you as far as you can go. And that is how your dreams can unfold. As long as you keep on eating the targets, eating those dreams. And before you know it, you're financially independent and free. You don't have to work so hard for money again. So you can invest your time to help people. Make sense? All right. What other questions? Yeah, just feel free. Feel free. And no question is stupid. Every question is good. Every inquiry is good. So just in case you have anything that is bothering you, ask. So we can be able to help each other.
My question is about like you did live via books.
Yeah.
How did this motivation speaking, all being a motivation speaker or inspiration speaker, where did it evolve from? Yeah.
It developed in 2007. I was in first year at university. And I was bitching around a lot. I was always complaining that my life is too hard. Yeah? That I've gone through a lot of pain. Everybody who interfaced with me, who was a little bit unheld, I wanted to tell them about how my life has been so painful. Yeah? I'm so unlucky. And I meet this lecturer called Mr. Matama Rogers. He's from Kampala. And after I shedded all my pain, and I even shedded tears, and I cried, and he allowed me to do all that. And then he said, "You're the luckiest guy. You're so lucky that you've gone through all this shit." I said, what's wrong? Oh, what's wrong with this guy? I mean, I've just told him all the pain that I've gone through, and he's telling me I'm very lucky. Is he out of his mind? And he said, no. I mean, how many people get an experience like yours and be where you are? You should actually use your experience as a strong point of your life. So instead of go laughing about it, why don't you use the story to be something that helps other people? And start working to ensure that you succeed so much that your story can be a point of reference, a point of inspiration for several people. And that's what I did. He took me to a school called Kiswa Primary School to go and talk to the kids there. So I talked to the kids there. The kids kind of enjoyed what I said. And then the teacher said, you used to come and talk to the teachers. And then I also go and tell the story to the teachers. I said, wow, your story is intense. And they gave me 20K. So, you mean they can pay me for this type of story? Okay, let me do one more. I went to progressive secondary school in Chichintale. I gave the same story. The teachers, I saw one teacher just shedding tears. I said, you mean my story is as strong, it touches people's life? They gave me 50K there. Let me try a little bit more. I went to Crane High. I know all the schools. The first days, I know all the schools I went to. And in the orders of I went to. I went to Crane High, still in Chichintale. And I said, I've got a story that I know can inspire the students, and especially the candidates, and they work so hard. And then he said, okay, you come and give me your story. And the teacher was there. I gave my story there. And the teacher just was quiet and listened for 1 hour and 30 minutes. There was a teacher who was supposed to come and teach those kids. I said, wait. Told the teacher, so the teacher came in and listened to the story. And then after I finished, the students were all like, and then they said, wow. One of them just got up and said, I thought my life was the hardest. But I promise you, Daniel, I'll work so hard. I'll stop complaining, and I'll get a super 25 points, and I'm doing it because of your story. Tears just started shedding through my eyes because of that story, what that kid said. The teacher took me to his office. The head teacher, I said, man, your story is so important, and we are having headmasters retreat. It was in Garuga. and I want you to come for it. I want you to come and tell your story to the head teachers of the different schools. He gave me 120K that day. I said, this thing pays. Okay. So I went and gave a talk at Garuga where they gave me 500,000 shillings. And every head teacher just got up and they gave me a standing ovation. And each one of them, I think 27 schools, they invited me to go and give talks to all the schools. And money was coming in. And my story was making a difference. The money was important. But at some point, the story and helping people's life became much more important. Then I went to YouTube, I started downloading motivational speakers and all this. I got Tony Robbins, I got Les Brown, I got Jack Canfield, I got all these guys. And I said, these guys are making crazy amount of money doing this sort of things and they're helping life. And for me, the helping life through your story was very important to me. And the money was also important. So I said, okay, this is something that I want to do with my life. So I'm still a full-time marketing person. I lecture marketing at the university. But what I do here, the story that I go out telling, is the most important thing. It gives me fulfillment. Even if I don't do anything else and I just do this for the rest of my life, I know I'm making a difference in people's life. So that's how it all came about. And right now, I give talks to organizations. They pay me up to 4 million shillings for 2 hours just to give this type of story. So this is what my life has gotten into, and I wouldn't change it for anything. It rocks. I love my life. Thank you. What else? Anything else? All right. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you, and I hope you do something with your life.
Okay.
You want to get out of here? It all starts there.
That's by notice.
Go ahead.
It may sound vague.
No, it's never fair. No,
Like, you spoke about you came from Kichibum.
yeah. Lamour.
Yeah, okay. But you're kind of this person who was bad in English, who couldn't speak that maybe fluent English,
Yeah.
and maybe
Good English.
Yeah, good English. So, how did you pick up with the good English?
I bought English Companion in 2007 still. I bought this book called English Companion. Has any of you read that book? Yeah. It's got a lot to do with the comparisons, the nouns, the verbs, and everything. I was reading that book night and day, so I can improve on the coherence of the English. I can improve on the articulations of some of the words. Some of them I still struggle with them today. And sometimes as I'm speaking, you hear something, a little bit of a Choli accent picking in, but it's okay, it's just minor ones. But every single day I want to speak well. Because honestly, I don't want to speak like a comedian and people just laugh because the English is terrible. I want to speak, but maybe because I cracked that joke, because I intended to crack that joke, not because my English is terrible. Life is a learning curve. Every single day you've got to grow. And for me, part of my growth is in speaking good English. Sometimes when I speak to some people, they say, man, have you been to Europe in your studies? No, I haven't. But I'm a very good listener. When I listen to a team speak, I try to get, hey, how did he say this? Okay. In my own time, I also try to say it in a related way, and now I speak like a European, and I know you enjoy it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so, but I had to work on it. Just didn't come, because when you speak to members of my families, they have that Kacholi accent. They have gone up to university level. Some of them have studied up to master's level, but still their English is not this clear, nice listening to, and all these sort of things. And many times you tend to blame this because I come from the north, that's why I speak like this. It's because I come from Bachigaland, that's why I speak like this. No, each one of us can actually improve. We can improve on our areas of weaknesses, and I think that's one of the reasons as to why we're here at SINA. That when all is done and said, when we leave here, we're going out there to the world as a complete package, as a product. We go out there as a product that people are willing to pay money for. Yeah? Because I said earlier, I buy you first before I buy anything you have to what? To offer. So be a complete package that people are willing to pay money for.